Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jaya Gaura Nithai, Jaya Gaura Nithai, Gaura Nithai, Jaya Gaura Nithai. Gaura Nithai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Next verse is verse number 14. Please repeat. Tam stan vipannan sahitatra tatra vihaya jatam parigruhya sarthaha avartate adyapi na kachid atra viradhvanaha paramupaiti yogam. My dear king, on the forest path of material life, first a person is bereft of his father and mother, and after their death, he becomes attached to his newly born children. In this way, he wanders on the path of material progress and is eventually embarrassed. Nonetheless, no one knows how to get out of this, even up to the moment of death. I already discussed, no? 14th. So earlier that will be all described elaborated in the next chapter. But after the death of the father and mother, the children get married and beget their own children. Thus, generation after generation, these things go on in the same way without anyone's attaining liberation from the embarrassment of material life. Rather, many times it is thought that my father is born as my son or grandson, and then more attachment. It goes on and on and on. 15th. Manasvino nirjita diggajendra ममेति सर्वे भुवि बद्धवैरः मृधेशयैरन्द तु तद्व्रजन्ति यन्यस्तदण्डो गतवैरो अभियाति. There were and are many political and social heroes who have conquered enemies of equal power. Yet due to their ignorance in believing that the land is theirs, they fight one another and lay down their lives in battle. They are not able to take up the spiritual path accepted by those in the renounced order. Although they are big heroes and political leaders, they cannot take to the path of spiritual realization. In the current context that Iran and Israel war, isn't it? And America supporting whatever Israel and all that. So they are, so to say, powerful nations having control over those oil, reserves. But then what is the use? They'll fight with one another. One party will be so-called victorious, another will be defeated. Defeated is completely gone, and the victorious is more completely gone. Because they will be proud, we conquered, and nobody surrenders to Krishna, nobody surrenders to sadhus, nobody comes to know what is the goal of life. Only goal was thought to be sense gratification. For that, oil reserves were very important because they give money and resources, and that's it. Punah charvita charvananam. They just with that oil they will be eating, sleeping, mating and defending. That's it. And those who are defeated, they will feel, oh, we are not getting our eating, sleeping. So now we'll attack back on these people. And this will go on for generations. There's no end to this. So this is all foolishness. Prabhupada is saying that towards the end. Because they spoil their lives with the illusion of, this is my land and my family. They cannot progress spiritually and attain liberation from the clutches of Maya. So America and Israel feel that those oil reserves are for everyone, and Iran feels no, they are in our country, next to our country, attached. So they are ours. We will not supply. So not share and care, but create fear and dare. So dare and create fear. So that will not work. In the commentary, Chakravarti Pad writes, great warriors conquer even the elephants of the direction situated far away, but they cannot conquer the 11 senses which are close enemies. You have heard Diggaj word, you must hear also it is there, na? Diggajendra. How many of you have seen that universal structure that on the Bhumandal, on the four sides there are huge elephants? How many of you seen? Those who have not seen will get to see in the subsequent module, because that is only coming up now, because fifth canto is about sthana, positions of the planets and planetary system. So it will come, but they are very far, those Gajendras, very very far. If somehow somebody could go that far and fight with those elephants and defeat them and say these four elephants they are also my servants in my service, that may happen, but then that is very far fetched or far off elephants you conquer. But then your own body and mind, body, within the body there are these 11 senses, eyes, nose, tongue, ears and skin, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, and hands, legs, voice, anus and genital, these 5 working senses, and mind. They cannot conquer the 11 senses which are close enemies, so close. These enemies are so powerful, they have created such grand illusion for this person that he is not able to recognize them as his enemies. Isn't it? Isn't it a better strategy of war that you are inimical to your opponent, but you don't make them feel only? It's like spies coming to your country, isn't it? Spy is faithful to that country, opponent's country, and he's coming in your country and appearing to be very friendly. And says, yes, sir, yeah, what do you want? This is, sir, you can do like this. He becomes your minister, and you gain, he gains so much of your faith. You feel, wow, ever since I got this man, God knows from where he came, and so much help, and its kingdom is going on so nicely. So that is only for the time being. Afterwards, he will show his real colors, and he will finish off the whole kingdom, and the king also will become a slave, or he will be killed just because that one spy. So here we have 11 spies, isn't it? Life will have a lot of spice. Because we think that these 11 senses, they give a lot of spice, isn't it? Eyes, wow, such beautiful forms. Now if you just go out in the lawn, you can see that marriage arrangement. Such a nice stage, chairs which are covered with curtains, clothes, and nicely kind of ribbon, long ribbon is tied up at the back. How many of you saw? Yeah, it's going on. And stage on that Sri Vaishnav flower. Here also, I think they have here also. So it looks, wow, so much spice in life. This is okay, they are having within temple premises marriage, but otherwise there are so many marriages go on, and looks like such nice sights, and for ears such melodious sounds are there, and then for nose smelling fragrances, what not. But this spice is not spice, but these are spies of Maya Devi, and they are creating so-called sensation for us, so much pleasure for us now, winning our hearts. And when we give in to this senses 11, we will be destroyed. We are getting destroyed now also, but illusion is so strong we can't understand only. The very powerful opponent is Maya. This is their courage, but it is not spiritual. They are going far off to the 4 Gajendras and trying to conquer them. So certainly there is courage in them, but it is not spiritual. Thinking in terms of mind, they all die on the battlefield. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is Bhumi Geet. So many Geets are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Gopi Geet, Venu Geet, Bhumi Geet, Uddhav Geet, Brahmar Geet. 10th canto has quite Geet, some Geetas. Venu Git, this is all 10th canto only. But there is Bhumi Git, which is not in 10th canto, that is in 12th canto. Bhumi Devi is saying that so many big, powerful kings came and they ruled over on my surface. They conquered so many others. Literally, they became emperors. Then they thought of conquering over the ocean also. So they conquered oceans also, like this Iran in one sense, Israel. They're trying to conquer ocean because all the oil reserves are within the ocean. So they conquered ocean. But then what happened to them? Eventually they all died. What remains of them? Only list of their names. That also will be destroyed eventually. So Maya is so amazing. Everybody is getting cheated without realizing. Rather, people are thinking, I'm getting so much of teachings. There are scientists who are going in deep forests and in the deserts and they are digging out the earth, fossil records, and then so many teachings we are getting. So much is there within earth, in the water, in the sky, and all that. But actually, they are all getting cheated only. Thinking in terms of mind, they all die on the battlefield. Spiritual courage is then described. Real courage is having no enemy and giving up all material attachments. So having no enemy means what? If we conquer over these our 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses as well as the mind. If you conquer the mind, then you have no enemies, isn't it? Then you don't consider anybody to be your enemy. Even if somebody attacks you, you don't consider that person to be enemy. Ajata Shatrava, Shantaha, peaceful. And then you don't have any material attachment only. That's why I was telling, a boyfriend is never afraid of introducing his girlfriend to a brahmachari. Because he knows he's not eyeing on my girlfriend. No problem. When I went to Indore, one boy and girl were like that. So their marriage is also supposed to happen after 1 or 2 years. So he said that she wants some counseling from you. First time I met, I never saw both of them. I was there for only 2 days. I said, what? So they asked some question. Like, this is our dilemma. Should we marry now or later? Something they were asking. So then I gave some guidance. But I said, you may be having some local counselors. You can ask them also. But I'm from third party, outsider, neutral. This is what is my understanding. Something. I don't remember exactly what they asked. Whether we should work for some time or after marriage she should work, something like that. But because we are not interested in exploiting them, all that, so we can give very nice advice based on the scriptures. If you conquer our mind and senses, you have no enemies. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita. The enemies are right within us only. These 11 senses. 10 gross, so to say, and 1 subtle mind. 16th. Yes.
Regarding the audio system you were talking about, yes, and generally. So there are so many followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu they are there. Then why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though the movie he told that your parents to
Raghunath Das Goswami's father, Govardhan Majumdar, and uncle, Hiranya Majumdar, because they were not Vaishnavas. They had some Karmakandi understanding. They are Vaishnav Praya. That is all described in that Vaishnav Ninda book. But they were not Vaishnavas. They were not having regular chanting and all that. That's why you can see also they were concerned that Raghunath is becoming too detached and they were tying him up, isn't it? Where is he going to run to? To Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only, isn't it? But they are not happy about that. They got him married to a very beautiful girl and all that. So they were not Vaishnavas. They were Vaishnav Praya.
but they were engaging their money.
That thing is that also piety, pious understanding is there many times. That will do, that way our health will be good. There will be a lot of profit in the business, or at least business will flourish. And graha dosha shanti. Like that, many other considerations are also there. What do you think? Many people come here and give donation. For what reason? Many times it is with the pious kind of understanding. They health, others' health.
But the day before yesterday or today, I asked and you said, since they are going to ISKCON, it is not practical.
Yes, but the piety is also there. So you have to give them knowledge. Their piety understanding you have to elevate to higher level. We are using it for Krishna properly, but I am talking about their understanding. Their understanding is pious many times. So then there will be some bhakti tent to the degree they have achieved knowledge, proper knowledge. Like that. It is your duty to give them proper knowledge because you are receiving money. They are advancing only, na? Because the four things I told you, na? Fix your mind on me. If not, then Krishna says, engage in the regulative principles of Dharma. If not, at least give the fruits of your action for some noble, for Krishna. And if not, then at least for noble cause. Even those who are giving for hospitals and all that, if not for Krishna, they are also advancing. But it's very slow progress. It is our duty to help them make very fast, rapid progress. If you give them knowledge, they will be very clear. And what they have been giving, they will give 10 times, 100 times, 1000 times more. They may give themselves also, if you give them proper knowledge, understanding. Sixteenth. Prasajjati kvapi lata bhujaashrayas tadashraya vyaktapada dvijaspruhaha क्वचित् कदाचित् हरिचक्र तस्रसन् सख्यं विधत्ते बककङ्कगृध्रैः. Sometimes the living entity in the forest of material existence takes shelter of creepers and desires to hear the chirping of the birds in those creepers. Being afraid of roaring lions in the forest, he makes friends with cranes, herons, and vultures. In the purport, Prabhupada says, all these animals, birds, trees, creepers in the forest, sometimes the living entity wants to take shelter of the creepers. In other words, he wants to be happy by being embraced by the creeper-like arms of his wife. Within the creepers, there are many chirping birds. This indicates that he wants to satisfy himself by hearing the sweet voice of his wife. In old age, however, he sometimes becomes afraid of imminent death, which is compared to a roaring lion. So he is there in the forest and he wants to be embraced by the creepers, that is compared to wives, tender hands, creeper-like arms, etc. Because creeper, if you see, at the bottom it will be thick, at the top it will be thin. So our hands are also like that. Here you can see very broad, and like this, they become smaller, and isn't it? So the creeper-like arms of girls, ladies will particularly have more thinness like that. So that gives so much pleasure to him, and in those creepers, etc., there is sweet chirping of the birds. That is her voice. Then, but the problem is after some time of enjoying sex life with his wife like that, then he becomes old, and then the lion is roaring, and he's scared. What is this? When I'm enjoying life like this, who is that lion roaring behind? And who is that? Death. Like that. Ahead he says, to be saved from the hands of Hari, the lion of death, one must take shelter of the Supreme Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there is Kala Chakra also. So in order to be saved from the hands of Hari, the lion of death, one must take shelter of the Supreme Hari. So that is one Hari. Death is also Hari. If you want to be saved from that, then take shelter of the Supreme Hari, Krishna. And end he says, he sometimes takes shelter of so-called gurus and sadhus who are like cranes, herons and vultures. Thus he is cheated both ways by not taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes they may go to sadhus and all that, but then they are cheaters. They are cranes, herons and vultures. What will these people do? They will suck. They will say, hey, he is a very rich person and he is little concerned about his departure from this world. So let us explain. You give to our mutt, then he will not die early. Something, they will cheat him. They have so many ways. Only they know their ways. Commentary Chakravartipad writes, again the forest of material life is described. He takes shelter of the happiness of touch of the arms of women like creepers. He desires to hear the birds which cannot be heard because they are sleeping in the creepers. This refers to the inaudible words of the woman while embracing the man. During sexual activity, she will produce some sounds and he will not be able to hear them. Dvija also refers to the children born from the man and woman. He desires to see and touch them. Pretenders say, how will you become free of material life? Hearing these words by chance, he becomes afraid of the wheel of time, which is like a group of lions. To alleviate his fear, he eagerly accepts the words of the cheaters. Easily you can cross the ocean of suffering, those cheaters, herons, cranes, vultures will say. He makes friends with the cheaters who are like cranes. They are cheaters, unintelligent and cruel. Just you become my disciple and you will easily cross over this death, ocean of suffering, no problem. And so many go, isn't it? In India, so you can see gullible masses. Just some sadhu, some charisma he will show, some ash he will produce, and thousands and lakhs will be followers. Isn't it? Because one side is fully enjoying life, trying to enjoy, and thinking that there is no problem. But this is there in youthful days. But as one grows into middle age, old age, then one understands, my God, body has problem, and death is also coming. Then such a person shows some inclination towards spiritual life. Spiritual life means so-called pious life or sadhus. And then there are many sadhus. Because he wants nice path by which his sense gratification also can continue. So there will be sadhus like that who will be cheaters. Bhaktivedant Thakur says there are 5 sampradayas. Kumar Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya and Brahma Sampradaya. And 5th is Vanchak Vanchit Sampradaya. The Sampradaya of cheaters and cheated. So I don't know how many, maybe 1 to 2, 3, 5, 10 lakhs population of the world is initiated in these 4 sampradayas. And remaining all, whatever that, 799 crore and 90 lakhs, they are all initiated into 5th sampradaya. And I think they are more faithfully following the teachings of their sampradaya than, at least I am not good, nicely following the teachings of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya sampradaya. But they are nicely following. And they get cheated like anything. To the extent Prabhupada says that sometimes in holy places, some young man will sit there as a sadhu, like that. And rich man will come there, send his daughter there, something like that, thinking that, or will invite him to house. Sadhu Maharaj, please come to our house. Thinking that, this sadhu, if he sees my beautiful daughter, he'll be attracted to her. And then he'll ask her hand in marriage. And then they'll marry. And the child produced from such a sadhu will be very powerful. So they have some kind of pious understanding. Giving daughter in marriage to a sadhu. And then powerful grandson will be born, which will be gain. Na? So how to cheat this sadhu? Just invite him to house, saying that just for prasadam. That is the duty of the householder. But then the prasadam will be served by the daughter, who is very beautiful. And he'll be attracted. And then he will say at the end, is your daughter married? No, not yet, Maharaj. So what about, when are you planning to marry? We are thinking in next 5-6 months if you could get. What kind of son-in-law you are looking for? Somebody who is very honest, very simple-hearted. Something like you, Maharaj. If I am ready to marry your daughter, is it okay? Oh, that will be our great fortune. Such a great Mahatma. Why not? But I don't have any money or something. Oh, that you don't worry. You can be Ghar Jamai also. We'll spend the entire money and all that. So he thinks he very nicely could cheat the sadhu. And that sadhu is not sadhu at all. He's a fake person, young man, who knows many rich people want their daughter to be married to sadhu. So he just grows little beard, what it requires. Don't go to saloon. Don't shave yourself. For 2, 3, 4 months, you'll have nice beard and all that. And clothes of sadhus can be obtained from anywhere. And just sit there like that. And so he is a cheater, and that fellow is trying to be cheater. So he gets cheated. That girl's father. He thinks he's cheater, but actually he's cheated then. So very dangerous soul. And Prabhupada talks about another sadhu. In the morning, in the house, he's with wife, children, shirt, pant, and all that. And then after that morning program is over, like that, then he wears sadhu's dress, saffron dress. Then he goes in the marketplace here, there, and begs and all that. He gets money, enough money, till evening sunset and all. Then he'll come back, he'll remove saffron dhoti kurta, then he'll wear shirt, pant, and with his wife, children, he'll have ordinary household life. So he's another cheater. And daytime when he's in the sadhu's dress, people give money thinking sadhu has come and all that. So this world is filled with cheaters and cheated. So there are many sadhus. How many such sadhus are there to cheat people? And how many of ISKCON sadhus are there who are there to relieve these people who can get cheated? Now we can say that, these people want to be cheated, hell with them, let them get cheated, get kicked by these sadhus and Maya. Then they will come to our ISKCON temples. So that is not a good way of thinking. We should go out of our way, especially by distributing books, Harinam, Sankirtan and Prasad. Preaching means these three things. Distribute holy name, distribute Prasad, and distribute books of Prabhupada. So these three things should go on continuously from our side. Then people will be saved. Otherwise, very dangerous Kali Yuga is anyway there. Then 17th. Tairvanchito hamsakulam samavishan arochayan shilam upaiti vanaran tajjatirasena sunirruttendriyaha parasparod vikshanam vismrutavadhi. Being cheated by them, the living entity in the forest of the material world tries to give up the association of these so-called yogis, swamis and incarnations and come to the association of real devotees. But due to misfortune, he cannot follow the instructions of the spiritual master or advanced devotees. Therefore, he gives up their company and again returns to the association of monkeys who are simply interested in sense gratification and women. He derives satisfaction by associating with sense gratifiers and enjoying sex and intoxication. In this way, he spoils his life simply by indulging in sex and intoxication. Looking into the faces of other sense gratifiers, he becomes forgetful and thus approaches death. How many of you have met some of the people at least who were earlier into some organization, spiritual organization, and then afterwards somehow they came to ISKCON and they are enjoying life here. They are very happy. Oh, devotees so educated, so effulgent, such nice temple, prasad. But after some time again they left. How many of you seen? Yeah, many come and go. Many come and go. Forget about visitors. Even within ISKCON temple, brahmacharis also come and go. So many of them. It's not so easy. Shurasya dhara nishidha duratya durgam pataste kavai vadanti. It is susukam kartum avyam kevala ananda khanda. But still, to the degree we are not truly associating with sadhus and we have our connection with materialistic people, to that degree to continue with this path is not so easy. Because those materialistic relatives, friends, society people will be pulling one. Hey, what is this? अरे क्या पागल हो गए क्या? अरे वो सब साधु ISKCON में जवानी में करते हैं. तुम मत जाना, अपना करियर बर्बाद मत करना. Your family, you have wife, children, so many responsibilities and all that. So one side they pull and here he is not associating with sadhus nicely. Then chanting has difficulty. Somehow he is completing 16th round by 12 o'clock in the night. And life has become a little taxing now. So he is into what you call tug of war. Materialistic people are pulling on the one side. And here spiritual life is not able to flourish. So then he feels, ठीक है अभी के लिए ज़रूरत नहीं है. I know ISKCON temples are always there. Prabhupada books I have. Maybe at home I will read. Beats I can chant some 2-3 rounds. For now it's okay. Afterwards we'll see. And then he gives up. And then he goes back again in the materialistic people's association. and they are very deadly. They will again get him into sex, intoxication, sense gratification. In the commentary, Chakratipad writes, understanding that they give no results, he goes to a group of Brahmans, but is not satisfied with their rules for atonement, such as taking the sacred thread again. Not satisfied, he goes to some pretenders, almost Shudras, with fallen conduct. Satisfied with unrestricted association with women, eating and drinking, by looking at their faces, he forgets that death is approaching, that the death is approaching. So this is very bad in one, worst in one sense. It's like if you never saw gold or diamond, that is one thing. But then you got diamond and then you thought it to be not so important thing. You gave it up. That is worst of the things to happen. But unfortunately, it does happen. That's why our regular classes are very important. Elevating, giving knowledge and thereby giving that knowledge, giving and also participation. We have to be kind to people. Prabhupada said preaching means kill them by your kindness. Her Grace Surabhi Mataji was telling once. So I liked it very much. Be so kind. Simultaneously, should in the classes you should be very heavy. Like this kind of thing you can speak in the classes. But on personal level, we should be very kind. Like that. Like class like this, wife's hands are like creeper-like arms, and she embraces, gives so much pleasure in sexual intercourse. But backside, the lion is roaring. The lion is death. The death is coming. So person will be shocked. Then he will ask, Prabhuji, my wife also embraces me, and I feel very nice. But your class, you said lion. He said, no. You take, there it was told, no, take shelter of Supreme Hari. You bring your wife also here. Come for morning program. Come for Sunday feast lecture. And like that. So, you have to solace them also. Give them solace. You should not say, बहुत भोग कर लिया, वाइफ के हाथों से एम्ब्रेस मिला, अभी देखो यमराज के कैसे दंडे पड़ते हैं, चमड़ी उखाड़ देंगे तुम्हारे. दैट काइंड ऑफ स्टेटमेंट यू शुड नॉट. वो ऑलरेडी डर गया क्लास में आपका वो लायन रोरिंग, एंड देन आपने बता दिया अभी तो, और तो फिर वो आएगा ही नहीं इसको में. बाप रे. ओवरडोज पावर, यू थिंक पावरफुल डोज दिया मैंने. यू टेल अदर प्रोफेसर, अरे ऐसा झाड़ा मैंने उसको, ऐसा झाड़ा कि बस आएगा आएगा ही नहीं कभी. तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी काइंड. You should tell them, no, don't worry, no matter, I am there always for you. You see, devotees are very blissful. You see brahmacharis, no money, nothing, they are blissfully dancing. Krishna is there for us. Like that. And you can tell so many things if you know the scriptures. Prabhupada says, a preacher of Krishna Katha is beyond the clutches of death. In Atyahara Prajalpa, I think, Prajalpa section, or Vacho Vegam, Manaso Krodha Vegam, somewhere he talks. How if you speak about Krishna continuously, then you are beyond the clutches of death. So you can tell him that he also preach. Prabhuji, मुझे इतना philosophy. No, you just distribute Prabhupada books. बस नहीं इतना बड़ा बड़ा गीत. No, small books you distribute, no problem. So you will go beyond the clutches of death. Be kind to people. And that formula in preaching is comfort the afflicted and afflict the comforted. So how to do it with the regular people? In the classes, you should afflict them. Very powerful dose you should give. Because they are very comfortable. Life एकदम अच्छा है, इस काम में आ गया. Comfort, afflict the comforted. And as soon as class is over, comfort. अरे प्रभु जी आपने बोला कि वो lion in the forest, death is coming. No. Preacher of Krishna Katha is beyond the clutches of death. Because he is afflicted now by your class only. So you comfort him now. During class, afflict the comforted, and after the class, comfort the afflicted. This should be the formula. And that's how comfort the afflicted means killing them with your kindness. They'll be yours. But in the class, you should not refrain from speaking the truth. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat. Swadhyaya bhyasanam chaiva vangmay tapochyate. One of the austerities of speech, one should not just speak the words which are agitating. But in classes, you should agitate, you should speak heavy philosophy. But then after the class, you should never speak agitating words. You should be speaking very nicely. Oh no, don't worry. No, if you take shelter of Krishna, then Jahan Krishna Tahan Nahi, Maya Radhikar. If you have Krishna in your life, Maya only comes in the form of death. That is not for you. You will go beyond. Dhruva Maharaj, have you not heard? Death personified came. Dhruva Maharaj, when the plane came, Nanda Sunanda came. Before boarding, death personified came. But then what happened? He bowed down. And Dhruva Maharaj kept his foot on the head of the death personified. That was like a stepping stone. And then he boarded the plane. And the plane took off. Death personified remained here only, on earth. And Dhruva Maharaj went to Dhruva Lok. So don't worry. So we have to be careful in our preaching. Otherwise, in the class, we should not be comforting, and after the class, then afflicting. So that kind of thing. You have to be very intelligent. Sometimes we may become frustrated. Our authorities have chastised us. So now किसी के ऊपर तो गुस्सा उतारना है. तो अभी जो जिनको प्रचार कर रहे हैं उनको ऐसे खाल उखाड़ दूंगा इनकी. So you have to be very careful. Isn't it? Sometimes the boss may chastise a man, and when he comes home and children are saying, "Papa, ये जो है ठाड़ करके, मम्मी, मैंने सिर्फ चप्पल मांगा था, चप्पल से मारा मुझे." And she becomes angry. What is this? इतना क्यों पीटा? अभी वो सोच रहे हैं, हाँ थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही पीट दिया. लेकिन उसको कैसे बताऊँ अभी कि उधर बॉस ने मुझे झाड़ा, तो मुझे किसी को तो झाड़ना ही था. Because what happened ना, बॉस को you cannot fire him back. तो कोई नीचे वाला चाहिए ना, नीचे वाला कौन है? अपना ही बच्चा है. तो उसको झाड़ दिया. तो you have to be careful. I have seen, at least in my life, whenever Radheshyam Prabhu praised me, "Arey Sundarshyam Prabhu, you are so nice." So I also was so comforting to counselors and others. जब उन्होंने मुझे झाड़ा तो मैंने इन लोगों को झाड़ दिया. क्या करूँ? अंदर की जो भड़ास जो भी है, किसी के ऊपर तो डाउनलोड करना होगा ना. I got uploaded. So that is too much for me. So it has to be downloaded also. Downloading तो राधेश्याम प्रभु के ऊपर तो नहीं हो सकता. तो नीचे जो है, at least there are many, तो शेयर कर लेंगे. मैं तो एक ही शेयर हूँ, तो बहुत लोगों के ऊपर डाउनलोड करूँगा तो 4, 5, 6 जन जितने हैं, शेयरिंग द लोड तो हो जाएगा. How many of you have done similar way? जो ऊपर वालों ने प्रेस किया, आपने नीचे वालों को अच्छा दिया. ऊपर वालों ने झाड़ा था, आपने नीचे वालों को झाड़ दिया. हाथ ऊपर कीजिए. हाथ अगर किया है आपने तो ठीक है. आई हैव मेनी फ्रेंड्स आई थिंक. सो लाइक दैट. सो टू बी केयरफुल. अपने पर्सनल लाइफ एंड प्रीचिंग एंड ऑल शुड नॉट बी इंटरफियरिंग इन दैट सेंस. आइडियल इज देयर इज नथिंग लाइक पर्सनल लाइफ. वी आर होली डेडिकेटेड to Prabhupada's mission, to preaching mission, and then that doesn't matter. Okay, so that is 17th. 18th. Drumeshu ramsyan sutadara vatsalo vyavayadino vivashah swabandhane क्वचित प्रमादात् गिरिकंदरे पतन वल्लिम गृहीत्वा गजभीत आस्थितः. When the living entity becomes exactly like a monkey jumping from one branch to another, he remains in the tree of household life without any profit but sex. Thus he is kicked by his wife just like he has. Unable to gain release, he remains helplessly in that position. Sometimes he falls victim to an incurable disease which is like falling into a mountain cave. He becomes afraid of death, which is like the elephant in the back of that cave, and he remains stranded, grasping at the twigs and branches of a creeper. Purport. The precarious condition of a householder's life is described herein. A householder's life is full of misery, and the only attraction is sex with the wife, who kicks him during the sexual intercourse, just as the she-ass does her mate. Due to continuous sex life, he falls victim to many incurable diseases. At that time, being afraid of death, which is like an elephant, he remains hanging from the twigs and branches of the tree, just like a monkey. In commentary, he says he enjoys in the houses places of pleasure. Desiring sex life, he is kicked by the woman. is bound up helplessly, Swabandhane, in that forest and cannot escape. Another version has Charan Vane, wandering in the forest, becoming terribly sick, like falling into a mountain cave. He fears death compared to an elephant. He remains alive by the support of his karmas, like a vine holding him up. So very precarious condition Shukdev Goswami is describing. So that she ass kicks the he ass during sexual activity. But then the strong attachment does not think, he does not think otherwise. Only that one only. 19th. Ataha katha chit sa vimukta apadaha पुनश्च सार्थं प्रविशति अरिन्दम् अध्वन्यम् मुष्मिन् न अजया निवेशितो भ्रमञ्जनोऽद्यापि न वेद कश्चन. O killer of enemies, Maharaj Rahugan, O killer of enemies, Maharaj Rahugan, if the conditioned soul somehow or other gets out of his dangerous position, he again returns to his home to enjoy sex life, for that is the way of attachment. Thus, under the spell of the Lord's material energy, he continues to loiter in the forest of material existence. He does not discover his real interest even at the point of death. Purport. This is the way of material life. When one is captured by sexual attraction, he becomes implicated in so many ways and cannot understand the real aim of life. Bhagavatam nate vidu swatagatam Vishnu. Generally, people do not understand the ultimate goal of life. Vedas say Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suraya. Those who are spiritually advanced simply look to the lotus feet of Vishnu. The conditioned soul, however, not being interested in reviving his relationship with Vishnu, becomes captivated by material activities and remains in everlasting bondage, being misled by so-called leaders. In commentary says, again he enjoys pravrutti marg, he does not know the Supreme Lord. So that is up to 19. I think the allegory was told. Jada by Jada Bharat. And its explanation by Shukdev Goswami. Okay, 5 this 20 to 26 now, last section of this chapter. Jada Bharat concludes his instructions and Rahugan expresses his gratitude. 20th. Rahuganatwamapi hi adhvanosya sanyasta danda krutabhuta maitraha asanjitatma harisevayashitam ज्ञानासिनं ज्ञानासिमादायत्तराति पारम्. My dear King Rahugan, you are also a victim of the external energy, being situated on the path of attraction to material pleasure. So that you may become an equal friend to all living entities, I now advise you to give up your kingly position and the rod by which you punish criminals. Give up attraction to sense objects and take up the sword of knowledge, sharpened by devotional service. Then you will be able to cut the hard knot of illusory energy and cross to the other side of the ocean of nescience. Prabhupada has quoted 15.34. 15 point that this is the tree of material existence, isn't it? Upside down, material world. What is that beginning? Ashwat. Urdo Moolam Adashakham. So that, so furthermore, the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. So doing, one must seek the place from which, having once gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom everything has begun and in whom everything is abiding since time immemorial. Because Maharaj Rogan was instructed like that, so Prabhupada also quoted this similar verse. There Krishna is guiding Arjun. Chakravarti says Tomapi is connected with the verb Niveshitaha in the previous sentence. Cross over this material ocean. You also. 21st. Rajovacha अहो नृजन्माखिलजन्मशोभनं किं जन्मभिस्त्वपरैरपि अपि अमुष्मिन् न यदृशिकेश यशः कृतात्मनां महात्मनां वः प्रचुरः समागमः. King Rahugan said, this birth as a human being is the best of all. Even birth among the demigods in the heavenly planets is not as glorious as birth as a human being on this earth. What is the use of the exalted position of a demigod? In the heavenly planets, due to profuse material comforts, there is no possibility of associating with devotees. Prabhupada in the middle says, so human birth is glorified here. Great opportunity for self-realization. In the middle he says, money and women are the basic principles of material attachment. If you see this, there also 1.2.19 tada rajas tamo bhava kama lobha adayashe. So kam is sex or woman and lobh is for money. So money and women are the basic principles of material attachment. Very difficult. And how to overcome satam prasangan mama virya samvido. Only in the association of devotees can one relish the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just through a little association with a pure devotee, one can become successful in his journey back to Godhead. Chakravarti Pad says, how have I suddenly become so fortunate? With astonishment he wonders. Among all births, human life is splendid in this astonishing world. There is nothing better in next life in Swarga. What is the use of those births as devatas in which there is no association with great devotees, whose souls, efforts, intelligence, mind and bodies are made only of glorification of the Lord, who engages their senses? So in heavenly planet, there is no association of great devotees. Here we have so much. So this life is better. 22nd. Nahi adbhutam tvaccharanabjarenubhir hatam haso habhaktiradhoksha jamala mohurtikadyasya samagamachame dustarkamulo apahato vivekaha. It is not at all wonderful that simply by being covered by the dust of your lotus feet, one immediately attains the platform of pure devotional service to Adhokshaj, which is not available even to great demigods like Brahma. By associating with you just for a moment, I am now freed from all argument, false prestige, and lack of discrimination, which are the roots of entanglement in the material world. Now I am free from all these problems. So he is saying, by associating with you just for a moment, I am now freed from argument. So in our life also we can check, how many of you feel there is some kind of arguments that I do with others? So time gets wasted in that. False prestige. This is another problem. We are looking for prestige. And false ego is very big. To that extent, false prestige is very important for that person. If we understand Jivar Swarupa hai Krishna Nitya Das, what is that? Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamale or Das Das, Dasanu. I am just servant of servant, just serving Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas, and Jivas also. Nameruchi, Vaishnavas and Jiva. These are my goals. So false ego and all, you keep it aside. It may be there, but we don't entertain it. Said easily than done. In actual life, it is very difficult. Because it takes its head up, like Kaliya. Again and again was taking this hood. Krishna trampled beneath the foot, then another one. Krishna jumped there, trampled it, then third one, then fourth one. Just goes on. So to the degree we chant attentively, This false prestige will not be a problem. Because when we are realized, or at least convinced, that I am Krishna Das, then we chant attentively. Otherwise, it just becomes a lip service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama. बहुत सारे सेवाएं आज my God, आज बहुत tight day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama. And what about prasadam? So many anxieties. Like that. Basically, problems of our maintenance will come. That's why he says, Amitaba Nityadasa Jani Nuye Bara Amara Palana Bhara Ekhono Tomara. My maintenance, Krishna, is your responsibility. I have realized I am your servant. I will do only, I am Krishna Das. And Krishna Dasyatva can be best expressed through 9 processes, of which topmost is chanting, which I am chanting now. I don't worry about my maintenance, that is your headache. Yogakshama Mahami Aham. Your thing. So that otherwise, how many of you seen maintenance? Lot of things come, isn't it? This has to be done, that has to be done. The boys have to be maintained. Who told you to maintain? Krishna will maintain. You hand over the boys to Krishna. Engage them in Krishna. So, no. They are my followers, my counsellors. So responsibility is with me. So then all that problem will come. And lack of discrimination. This is also another. Which are the roots of entanglement in material world. Prabhupada in purport says, association with pure devotee certainly frees one from the material clutches. This is certainly true of King Rahugan's association with Jada Bharat. King Rahugan was immediately freed from the misgivings of material association. The arguments offered by pure devotees to their disciples are so convincing that even a dull-headed disciple is immediately enlightened with spiritual knowledge. I don't know why, what inspired Prabhupada to write dull-headed. It is true, but that means no matter how deep ignorant we are, how much in deep ignorance we are, still enlightenment with spiritual knowledge is possible. If only we hear from pure devotees. That's why hearing Guru Vani is very important. For this, Chakravarti Pad writes, you mentioned intimate association. Does that mean that a little association is useless? What was the word for intimate association? Prachuraha samagamaha. Prachur means abundant, the association. So intimate he is using. No, I spoke like that out of great enthusiasm. Just by obtaining the dust from your lotus feet, I have attained pure bhakti, which is rare even for Brahma or Indra. But this is not astonishing. What is astonishing is that if just by a moment's association my mind, corrupted by a little knowledge and filled with bad logic, becomes favorable to bhakti, how can one describe the greatness of prolonged association with devotees? My statement shows my enthusiasm. Third. Namo mahadbhyostu namah shishubhyo. Namo yuvabhyo nama avatubhya. Ye brahmana gam avadhuta lingash. Charanti tebhyah shivamasturagyam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the great personalities, whether they walk on the earth's surface as children, young boys, avadhutas, or great Brahmins. Even if they are hidden under different guises, I offer my respects to all of them. By their mercy, may there be good fortune in the royal dynasties that are always offending them. He already offended Jada Bharat, who appeared to be maybe some young boy or at least avadhut. So they are hidden under different guises. So his repentance as well as rectification both are visible over here. Recognizing is also there. Chakravarti Pad writes, If you, carrying the palanquin, had not enlightened me, what destination would such an offender attain? In fear, the king offers respects. I offer respects even unto the small Brahman boys. Since such children are inclined to play, their greatness is not evident. Yeah, isn't it? Or Kumaras, they are enlightened. They cannot be taken in this category. Narad Bhai is also different. Other ordinary Brahmins children, no? So they are playing small Balyavastha, Krida Sakta. They will be playing. So one may not understand their glories and one may offend them also. So like that is saying. Since such children are inclined to play, their greatness is not evident. However, to even such persons he offers respects. Now he has दूध का जला छाछ फूक फूक कर पीता है. So Jada Bharat was not a small boy. He is grown up and is very mature. But now Raghugan misunderstood his mistake. So now he is offering respect to even Brahmin boys who are small. They may be 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. By requesting good fortune for kings, he indicates that possibly other kings have offended the devotees. So many have offended. Kartavirya Arjun, he offended Jamadagni. Yeah. So when he went to Jamadagni's hermitage with lot of soldiers, he said, please have something, in the forest, what this fellow will be out of. But then when he got such a huge feast, he was surprised. Even as a king, I will have difficulty. How did you get? Oh, I have this cow. What name? Come name? Subala? Surbi. Surbi. Surbi is the name of the... She had some name, na? Sabala or something. Sabala, na? Yeah, with bal. So then he said, she's Kamdhenu cow. She gives me anything that I desire. And she only provided everything. He said, hey, you are just ordinary Brahmin here. You don't need, I need, I am king, I am maintaining all the citizens. You give Sabala to me, this cow. He said, no, please don't say like that. We do yagya and all that. For that all we need milk, ghee, etc. He said, nothing doing, are you giving or not? And then he just started dragging Sabala, that cow. Then Jagannath could not do anything. Then Sabala, long story to cut it short, ultimately he took her away forcibly. Then he killed Jamadagni also. Then son Parshuram became very angry because when Jamadagni's head was cut off, when Parshuram came back, he saw his mother Renuka beating her chest 21 times. Then he took a vow, I will wipe off 21 times the entire race of Kshatriyas from planet Earth. And then he went on his first tour. First he killed all the sons of Kartavirya Arjun and then killed him also. And then second round, third round, fourth, 21 times. There was so much blood that what they call 5 kundas were filled. No? What is it called? In Kurukshetra, Pancha? Some word is there. Pancha only. Some word is there in Kurukshetra and all that. And then he took bath and then he went over. So he indicates that possibly other kings have offended the devotees. So many kings offended in one sense. 24th. So this is prose, I'll only read. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Iti evam uttaramataha savai brahmarshi sutaha sindhupataya atmasatatvam viganayataha paranubhavaha paramakarunikatayopadishya rahuganena sakarunam abhivandita charana apurnarnava iva nibhruta karanor dharanim imam vichachara. Sri Shukdev Goswami continued, my dear king, O son of mother Uttara, there were some waves of dissatisfaction in the mind of Jadbharat due to his being insulted by King Rahugan, who made him carry his palanquin. But Jadbharat neglected this, and his heart again became calm and quiet, like an ocean. Although King Rahugan had insulted him, he was a great Paramhamsa. Being a Vaishnava, he was naturally very kind-hearted and he therefore told the king about the constitutional position of the soul. He then forgot the insult because King Rahugan pitifully begged pardon at his lotus feet. After this, he began to wander all over the earth just as before. Purport 325:21 Kapil Dev describes the symptoms of a Titikshava Karunika. He is very tolerant, friendly to all, does not create enemies within the world. A pure devotee has all the qualities of a sadhu. Jada is an example of this. Due to the material body, his senses were certainly agitated when he was insulted by King Rahugan. But later, due to the king's humble submission, Jada excused him. It is the duty of everyone desiring to return to Godhead to become submissive like King Rahugan and beg pardon of Vaishnavas one may have offended. Important. In a Christian world, they have something like, like NOC, no objection certificate. So the Christian old man, he goes to known acquaintances, friends, family members, and says, please forgive in case during lifetime I might have committed some offense, some mistake, I might have agitated, disturbed, troubled you. Now it's time for me to leave from this world soon. That is not known when he will die. So before that I want to beg forgiveness, please excuse me. And they say, yes, nothing to worry. So like that. So this is, they do it practically like that. So we should also, better not wait for the last moment, because who knows when is the last moment. Suddenly we may die also. So anytime mistake happens, we can beg forgiveness from a devotee. Like that. Vaishnavas are generally very kind-hearted. Therefore, if one immediately submits himself at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, one is immediately cleared of offensive reactions. So he's saying immediately. So here we don't wait for death time, or time before death. Immediately you submit, and Vaishnavas will they will forgive you. One is immediately cleared of offensive reactions. If one does not do so, the reactions will remain and the results will not be very palatable. One has to take birth again, maybe several times. Bahu janma kori yadi shravana kirtan tabuta na paye Krishna pade premadhan. Many millions of lifetimes of shravanam, like you all are doing, and kirtanam, like I am doing. You can go on like this for many lifetimes, but one will not get attraction to the lotus feet of Krishna because of offenses. So by all means, we have to avoid offenses. Though the definition of Kanishta Madhyam Uttam, I told the other day. Here or there I told. PDC devotees. One who chants one pure holy name in his life, he is Kanishta Adhikari. One who always chants pure holy name, Nirantar, he is Madhyam Adhikari. And one just by seeing whom others are reminded of Krishna, he is Uttam Adhikari. So we may say that I am sure none of the devotees around me have chanted once purely holy name. They are as distracted as I am, so nothing to worry. No, but others also, they are called as Vaishnava Pray. So most of us will fall in the category of Vaishnava Pray, Vaishnava Abhas. So then also, to the degree they are practicing bhakti sincerely, to that degree offense is held. Offense will backfire. That's why better. False ego comes in between and we disrespect others. We think I am correct. And we have a lot of opinion about many things. Don't have opinion. If you have opinion about how to rectify the situation, this Iran-Israel war, what can be done by which, things can be rectified, or about India's economic situation or political situation, or Maharashtra's situation, or maybe Bombay, Pune situation, or of ISKCON, JUHU in particular. If you have some opinion how it can best, then you'll have to come back. You'll have to come back to this world. You will be again here in JUHU, maybe a brahmachari. Maybe you will be department head or you will be president. And you will try to rectify, because you had a strong opinion that this should be rectified in this way. So that's why Prabhupada last what he said? Kichu ichha nahi. He could have said, yeah, that's Varnashram is remaining, and I want at least 10-15 sannyasis should form a committee, Varnashram, and they should make sure within next 10-15 years Varnashram is executed in ISKCON. Kichu ichha nahi. Krishna sent me to this world to spread, and I tried my best. And now Krishna I did whatever GBC and all handed over. Now I need to leave. Like that. So we should not have firm opinion, hold on to our some kind of, then we'll have to come back in this world. If at all we have firm conviction, it should be Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead. In one meeting of GBC's, our leaders, Prabhupada asked, how many of you are convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead? And Prabhupada asked very heavily. So they were all afraid. We cannot be casual and just like that we cannot say, Prabhupada, that is written in your books everywhere. We are convinced. No, that was very heavy, loaded questions. All were silent. Prabhupada said, how many of you are convinced? And they were all silent. Prabhupada said, if you only are convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, we will take over the entire world in just 18 days, because that is the time it was required for Pandavas to conquer over Kauravas. And they became emperors in 18 days. So it just takes 18 days to conquer entire world, to make entire world Krishna conscious. But you all should be convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead. Pandavas were convinced. That's why when Arjun and Duryodhana both went for a proposal, Arjun was given first chance, whether you want me, Krishna, who will be unarmed, who will never raise any weapon, and or my Narayani Sena of very 1000 powerful warriors. So then Duryodhana was fearful, my God. Now Arjun will ask for 1000 Narayani Sena, because this Krishna is useless, he's not going to fight, he's not going to lift any weapon. Now I will be cheated. I will be left with this useless Krishna, fit for nothing fellow, because Arjun will take away all Narayani Sena. But to his great surprise, Arjun, when he was given first opportunity, he said, I want you, O Madhav, to be with me. Like that. Then Krishna looked at Duryodhana and said, see, Arjun is asking for me, so Duryodhana, what do you say? He said, okay, now Arjun wants you, then I am left with no other choice. Then the Narayani Sena, I will take it. And in the heart he was thinking, what a fool Arjun is. He is really fool. What is the use of this Krishna who is not going to lift any weapon? He is really fool. But thank God I was saved. Otherwise I thought he will take away. Like that. So Arjun is representing all Pandavas. They are convinced. Jayastu Pandu Putranam Isyam Pakshe Janadana. If Krishna is on our side, our victory is guaranteed. So if we are convinced of that, we can take over the entire world. Prabhupada took over the entire world in one sense, in 12 years. So that conviction is very important than our firm opinion that temple can become better by this and that. Then we'll have to come back again and try to make temple better. So one should not be attached to anything of this world. To beg forgiveness from devotees whom we offended during our lifetime. In commentary, Chakravarti Pad writes, oh, King Rahugan was so fortunate. Though he offended Bharat by making him carry the palanquin, he was showered by the nectar of his mercy and became successful. I am most unfortunate, not being forgiven for the offense of placing a dead snake on the neck of a Brahman. I have been burned by the poison of his curse. Who is thinking? Saying? Thinking, Parikshit. What dark hell will I attain? Rahugan was excused, forgiven. But what about me? Shukdev pacifies the lamenting Parikshit. O Parikshit, whose mother was Uttara, the Lord entered into your mother's womb personally and protected you. He showed his form to you. The Lord, sending sages like Narada and myself means Shukdev Goswami. The Lord, sending sages like Narada and myself to protect you from the Brahman's curse, has brought us to you and has nullified the curse by sprinkling you with unprecedented mercy of the sages and making you drink the nectar of Bhagavatam through me. This shows that you are more fortunate than King Rahugan, than Bharat, than myself and the great sages. How one can boost up others' confidence, is amazing. Therefore, why do you lament? Though he was scolded, Bharat had the highest realization. He taught about spirit to the king of Sindhu. Sakarunam means with tears. The agitation of the senses within his heart was calmed. Yeah. So comfort the afflicted again. This is preaching. Afflict the comforted, comfort the afflicted. We have to always be very careful. Never afflict the afflicted and give more comfort to comfortable. Comfortable fellow you have to. 25th. Yeah. Personal or what? Question. Hmm. Hmm.
Prabhuji, this in the commentary, Sukdev Goswami is telling that how this Parishad Maharaj accepting that offense, and then he is telling that because of hearing Bhagavatam and all this setup, you are more fortunate. So of course, from this scenario, that is Prabhupada right there also, here also, that from this scenario is clear that how this happened as per the Lord's will. Parishad Maharaj putting the dead snake, it happens as per the Lord will. But generally, from another point of view, this cannot, this scenario that just hearing Bhagavatam, this all set up, will not make you, will not help to rectify the sin, rectify the offense which you done. Sukadeva Goswami is proposing like that in one sense. Or he is telling only for the Parishad Maharaj.
No, I did not get the question. Just ask the question part.
Sukadeva Goswami telling Parishad Maharaj, whatever you had done, don't worry. This setup is, because of this setup, you are more fortunate than Rahuguna. So it seems like that Sukadeva Goswami is telling in one sense, there is no need of rectification for the offense which you had done. Of course, there is a Lord will, that is one thing. So
Offense, he repented, no? And see, there was no offense because that snake was dead only.
So he is telling only for the Parishad Maharaj case.
Yeah, otherwise, whom did you think about?
No, I'm just telling, asking.
Asking what exactly?
He is telling not in general sense, only for the Parishad Maharaj.
Yeah, for Parikshit only. Parikshit is thinking now, oh, Rahugan was forgiven by Jada Bharat. But what about me? I committed grievous sin of putting that dead snake, etc. That is natural for a devotee to think in a humble way. But Parikshit is consoled by Shukdev Goswami. And such a great, amazing fortune is there. In fact, you might have heard that before even Bhagavatam was started, demigods came with a pot of nectar and offered it to Shukdev Goswami, saying that, oh Shukdev Goswami, we have exchange offer. This Parikshit, your disciple, is cursed to die within 7 days by biting of a snake, Takshak. So we have nectar here. Nectar is antidote for poison. So he can just drink nectar, and then Takshak comes, no matter how much he bites, Parikshit will never die. And instead of making this Srimad Bhagavatam, giving it to Parikshit, you tell us Srimad Bhagavatam. Exchange offer, basically. For relieving Parikshit, Takshak, you are going to speak Bhagavatam. Speak Bhagavatam to us, and we'll take care of his not dying through nectar. Then Shukdev Goswami chastised the demigods. Get lost. That is not. It is not so cheap to get to here. That eagerness, and that is there only in Parikshit. I will make him only. So demigods went with the nectar pot. Means they went in one sense empty-handed. In a sense, not empty. They had a full pot, but the proposal they came was rejected, so they were empty-handed. It is Guru's responsibility not to relieve the disciple of his anxiety, and he is very sincere. Parikshit. 25th. Savirapatirapi sujana samavagata paramatma satatva atmanya vidya dharopitam cha dehatma matim visasarja evam hindrupa bhagavad ashrita anubhavaha. After receiving lessons from the great devotee Jadabharat, King Rahugan of the state of Savir became completely aware of the constitutional position of the soul. He thus gave up the bodily conception completely. My dear king, whoever takes shelter of the servant of the Lord is certainly glorified, because he can without difficulty give up the bodily conception. So what we need to do? Take shelter of the servant of the Lord. You will be glorified also, and you will give up bodily conception without difficulty. So Bhagavad Ashrita Ashritanubhavaha. Anubhava. The kind of story ends here as far as Rahugan goes. Rahugan became free from bodily conception, and that effect happened, was seen. So he is generalizing, he is telling to Parikshit. Shukdev is telling. Prabhupada has quoted Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastre Koi Lavamatra Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhya. A moment's association with a pure devotee, one will reach perfection. A sadhu is a pure devotee of the Lord. Prabhupada is telling Bhaktivedant Thakur, it has been our practical experience that the first instruction of our spiritual master infused us with Krishna consciousness, so that now we are at least on the path of Krishna consciousness and can understand the philosophy. So humbly he is speaking. As a result, there are many devotees engaged in this Krishna consciousness movement. The whole world is revolving under the bodily conception. Therefore, there must be devotees all over the world to deliver people from the false bodily conception and fully engage them in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada's desire is also expressed. Mood and mission, both are there in one sense. In commentary, he writes, Sujana refers to Bharat. Atmani means in oneself. He gave up the conception that the body is the self, which comes about due to ignorance about the self, which is without a beginning. King Rahugan took shelter Ashritaha of the devotee Bharat, who took shelter of the Lord, Bhagavad Ashrita. Then 26. Rajovacha yoha va iha bahuvida mahabhagavata tvaya bihitah parokshena vachasa jivaloka bhavadva sahyarya manishaya kalpita vishayo danjasa vyutpanna loka samadhigamaha atha tadaivaitad uravagam samavetaanukalpena nirdishyatam iti. Translation. King Parikshit then told Shukdev Goswami, my dear Lord, O great devotee sage, you are omniscient. You have very nicely described the position of the conditioned soul who is compared to a merchant in the forest. From these instructions, intelligent men can understand that the senses of a person in the bodily conception are like rogues and thieves in that forest, and one's wife and children are like jackals and other ferocious animals. However, it is not very easy for the unintelligent to understand the purport of this story, because it is difficult to extricate the exact meaning from the allegory. I therefore request your holiness to give the direct meaning. So this is like little indirect, so give direct purport. There are many stories and incidents in Srimad Bhagavatam that are described figuratively. Such allegorical descriptions may not be understood by unintelligent men. Therefore, it is the duty of the student to approach a bona fide spiritual master for the direct explanation. Same thing there in Prachini Bari I told. He directly asks. So here Parikshit is asking for all the conditioned souls. Commentary. The subject in which the six plunderers are the senses and the jackals are the children. The subject in which the six plunderers are the senses and the jackals are the children was produced by the greatest intelligence. It is hard to understand because examples are not given. Suitable examples, anukalpena, should be given. Yes. Any question?
Fit candidate to pick this kind of matter.
Who is fit candidate?
Rahugana.
Rahugana or Jadbharat?
Yes, sir. Jadbharat is teaching to Rahugana. This allegatory, full allegatory. Why can't he directly teach?
No. He directly taught. Rahugana understood. He became free from bodily conception of life and all that. But here Parikshit is inquiring, is asking, this is okay for intelligent people, but unintelligent people won't be able to figure it out. So could you give more examples? So that's what I said, no? The story ends here of Rahugan. Rahugan became perfect. kind of Sattvagun to kind of Shuddha Sattvagun, kind of. But now the next 14th chapter is only Parikshit and Shukdev. Clear or not? You don't seem to. Huh? There, Varishit only did not understand. So he said, could you please? But here Raghugan understood. His life is perfect, done. But Parikshit is concerned about all of us. So he said, please give more examples. So that's why Shukdev is giving in the 14th chapter, elaborating.
In offense, while this Kartiviri Arjuna and you are mentioning, so Parshuram is the incarnation of Lord. So there they are back and forth offenses happening.
Back and forth? Which
yes.
back and forth?
Firstly,
only one side only.
Firstly, that king took away the cow.
He only was offensive, nobody else.
Then some who has cut the Jamadagni's head.
The Kartaviri Arjun only. He only went on committing more and severe offenses. So that's why.
Then Parshuram also killed Kartiviri Arjun.
So that is the end, no? First he stole Sabala, and then afterwards I think Parshuram brought her back and all that. But then he was very furious, Kartaviri Arjun. He cut off or his sons cut off, I think. Sons cut off, no? So they were all culprits, they were all offenders. Here, this side, there is no offender. Jamadagni is not offender, Renuka is not offender, Parshuram is not. He just did the justice. Justice is supposed to be given by the king. King only became rogue and thief and culprit, plunderer. So लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानेंगे. उनको बातों से बताया था कि दे दो ये हमारे, वो माने नहीं. फिर परशुराम से टू मच, मेरे फादर को मार दिया, ब्राह्मण को, ब्रह्म हत्या. और वो भी कब, जब वो बैठे हैं समाधि में वगैरह. ये भी कोई तरीका है? चैलेंज करना होता है क्षत्रिय को, और वो दूसरे क्षत्रिय को ही चैलेंज करना होता है, नॉट टू ब्राह्मण हु इज विदाउट आर्म्स, नथिंग. तो और ही वॉज नॉट द ओनली वन. वो तो एक सैम्पल था, वो तो लीडर था. बाकी सब ऐसे ही थे. तो इसलिए तो सबके ऐसे नहीं कि इनोसेंट, अरे एक आदमी के कारण सब मारे गए, ऐसे नहीं. सब दे आर ऑल रोग्स एंड थ्यूज, सब मारे गए. दशरथ महाराज तक गए थे वो, परशुराम वेंडेर. अरे दशरथ महाराज विवाह में बैठे. ओह ठीक है, थोड़ी देर के बाद आता हूँ. बिकॉज परशुराम हैड टेकन अ वाव, ओनली इफ द क्षत्रिय इज इन मैरिज, ही इज गेटिंग मैरिड, देन आई विल नॉट किल हिम. तो हर बार दशरथ ऐसे 350 विवाह कर लिए. 3 queens were just, they were married officially. या अनऑफिशियली ऐसे सब. अनऑफिशियल मीन्स प्रॉपरली मैरिड. स्वाहा, स्वाहा नहीं, क्या वो, शुभ मंगल सावधान, लाइक दैट. Who was capturing?
Parshuram. He was only killing them.
Capturing means killing only.
Yeah, killing them.
और सब लातों के भूत थे.
But Dashrath Maharaj is a very saintly person, and he was protecting them.
Yeah, but then he is also king, ना? एक पास टाइम है वो. अब इसके डिटेल्स आचार्य what they have written I don't know, but he would go. But then you see ना, Dashrath was never killed.
Yeah, he was never killed, correct. That even I heard, because that is the reason he used to always marry.
So why didn't other kings also, they then should have been knowing ना, दशरथ escaped by marrying one after other. तो हम भी लड़कियां तो रहती ही हैं दासीज. जैसे आ गए परशुराम, चलो बैठ जाओ, शुभ मंगल, नो नीड ऑफ दिस लॉन एंड चेयर एंड स्टेज, विदाउट दिस ओनली इन द पैलेस ओनली. यानी दासी बैठी है और पुरोहित को तैयारी रखने का. बॉडीगार्ड की ज़रूरत नहीं है, एक पुरोहित की, ब्राह्मण की ज़रूरत है कि नहीं? बॉडीगार्ड बचा नहीं पाएगा परशुराम से किंग को, लेकिन ब्राह्मण बचा पाएगा. महाराज बैठ जाए तुरंत, हाँ, और दासी तो है, भाई तुम बैठ जाओ जो भी है सामने, शुभ मंगल, और सब जगह पे राइस रखने का अक्षता, हो गया काम. द पायस विल बी प्रोटेक्टेड. परित्राणाय साधुनाम. सो लॉर्ड मेक श्योर दे वर प्रोटेक्टेड. ओके.
Prabhuji, Rajarsi should become the king. So Rahugan even though he was having some of misunderstanding, now he is fully a Rajarsi. So he should rule. Now he is saying, now you leave.
That question I also have, because that word was used once only, that you give up all this. But I'm not sure, because Acharyas have not comment, at least Vishwanath Chakravarti have not, whether he really left the whole thing and went to forest like Vanaprastha thing, or he went back to his kingdom and very humbly he ruled. That is not clear to me. To my understanding, he should have gone to kingdom back and rule as a Rajarshi, as a ideal king, as a devotee king, based on the teachings of Jadabharat. But once Jadabharat said that, that's why question mark comes. He said you should give up all this kingdom, isn't it? That's why the question comes in the mind. Here it is, see, at the end what he said, he became free from bodily conception of life. He gave up the kingdom is not written. So what I feel that Jadabharat meant, though the words are give up the kingdom like that, but the meaning is, give up the attachment to the kingdom, that adharmic way of, ruling over the citizen, telling the citizen, hey, become the palanquin carrier for me, I am the king and all this. So that was adharmic. That was not dharmic. So now rule in a dharmic way. That is what is Jadabharat's instruction. That's what I understand. The meaning. Though the words are, you should give up the kingdom. I don't think he gave up the kingdom. He went and ruled properly. And when the right time came, 50 age or whatever, he must have handed over to his son, saying that this is what mistake I committed. I offended saintly, you don't offend. And you rule nicely. I am going to forest now. That is later, not now. Yes. Okay.
Create non-envious devotee. So
Morning, that's why, because I had read this yesterday. You saw in the class beginning somewhere, Parmanu, I said also that non-envious. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is glorifying Vrindavan Das Thakur, though no author will do like that.
So, Prabhuji, among devotees, how we can practice this non-enviousness?
Non-enviousness. By hearing classes, Nashtaprayashu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Seva, and chanting attentively, mainly. Shravanam and Kirtanam. If you don't believe in me, maybe now, nice thing, we can just read one purport maybe. That's what, 9th canto, chapter number what? Lord Ram's, what are the chapters? Purusho Ramacharito, I think I will give. Purusho Ramacharito. Oh, this is 10th canto it is going. Huh? 9 point. 1 minute. Huh? Wait a minute. 9, 11. I think this is the number. Purusho Ramacharitam Shravanairupadharayan Andrushamsya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchyate. Translation. O King Parikshit, anyone who orally receives the narrations concerning the characteristics of Lord Ramchandra's pastimes will ultimately be freed from the disease of envy and thus be liberated from the bondage of fruitive activities. This is a very nice purport, one of my most favorite purports. See what Prabhupada says. Here in this material world, everyone is envious of someone else. Even in religious life, it is sometimes found that if one devotee has advanced in spiritual activities, other devotees are envious of him. See, devotee word and religious life. So like ISKCON only. He's not using the word ISKCON. Means it is all religious life, not just ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, everywhere. Such envious devotees are not completely freed from the bondage of birth and death. As long as one is not completely free from the cause of birth and death, one cannot enter the Sanatan Dham or the eternal pastimes of the Lord. One becomes envious because of being influenced by the designations of the body. But the liberated devotee has nothing to do with the body and therefore is completely on the transcendental platform. A devotee is never envious of anyone, even his enemy, because the devotee knows that the Lord is his supreme protector. He thinks, what harm can the so-called enemy do? Thus, a devotee is confident about his protection. The Lord says, Yatamam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyam. According to the proportion of one's surrender unto me, I respond accordingly. A devotee must therefore be completely free from envy, especially of other devotees. To envy other devotees is a great offense, a Vaishnava aparad. A devotee who constantly engages in hearing and chanting, Shravan Kirtan, is certainly freed from the disease of envy, and thus he becomes eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. See? So when you ask question, I was like, and then I answered, Natsha Prayasho Abhadreshu, Shravanam and Kirtanam, attentive chanting. And immediately Krishna inspired, hey, that Purusho Ramacharitam, something, find out. So see what he's saying? A devotee who constantly engages in hearing and chanting, Shravan Kirtan, is certainly freed from the disease of envy, and thus he becomes eligible to go back home, back to God. That's it, without giving up envy. Envy is first in, last out. Isn't it? Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata. So it is first in and last out. In Sri Prem Bhakti Chandrika, Srila Narottam Das Thakur Mahasaya talks how to get rid of 5 anarthas out of the 6. Kam Krishna Karmarpani, engage in services to Krishna, lust will be purified. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane, anger can be purified by becoming angry on those who are enemies of Krishna and his devotees. Lobha Sadhu Sange Harikatha, greed can be purified by hearing Harikatha in the midst of devotees. Moha Ishta Labhavine, that illusion can be purified by knowing that without Krishna, life has no meaning. Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam, Govinda Virayanami. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada. Mada Krishna Gunagani. By glorifying Krishna, your pride will go away. You will not glorify I am great, Mada, Ahankar, but you will glorify how Krishna is great. He talks about 5 only. 6th one, envy, he doesn't talk. 5 can be purified. 6th one has to give up. That is last one to go. Lust will go, pride will go, anger will go, greed will go, illusion will go, but not envy. That is only last. But envy will go by Shravanam and Kirtan. And that too constantly, Prabhupada saying. Devotee who constantly engages in hearing and chanting. So either you keep reading Prabhupada books, or if you are bored, tired or whatever, then you take mala, start chanting. Or take kartal, mridang, start doing kirtan. Afterwards you are tired of kartal playing and mridang playing, then you take bid bag, and then you take book, start reading. Like that 24 hours a day, and like that throughout your life till you drop down dead. When you drop down dead, even before devotees take you to crematorium or samadhi sthal, your soul will reach Golok Vrindavan. They will not know that. They will have your 3rd day memorial. Prabhu was nice. And then some devotee may say, we think he must have gone back to God. Some others will think, oh no, we don't think. He was young brahmachari, he had a lot of difficulty. He was always something like that. But your soul will be dancing there in Krishna Lok, with Krishna and other devotees. So be rest assured. Okay? Should we start next chapter? Yeah. It is also like humanly emotions are also there. Just like, Varahadev got affected when Hiranyaksha spoke abusive words, insulting words. Now Lord is Sachidananda Vigraha and Namam Karmani Limpanti. Name Karma Phalisprah. So that kind of person. But then because Hiranyaksha is his child only, Jai, but in general any other living entity also, when he insults the Lord as Supreme Father feels, oh, my child is gone so far away from me, and he's suffering because of that. He should be close. So like that, some kind of emotion might have been there in Jada Bharat. So that's why he was, what is the word used? He was not affected. What is the word used? Dissatisfaction. Waves of dissatisfaction in the mind of Jada Bharat. Because they say, what they say? The more is given, more is expected. Isn't it? So he is highest. No? See, earlier how much he was insulted, and not just for this happened, how long he was insulted. Just let's say 5-10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. But his brothers with whom he was staying, how much they insulted by giving him only very, what do you call, rotten grains, and making him act like a scarecrow and teasing him very, and for several days, maybe months or years also. And those dacoits also. But the brothers were in passion and the dacoits were in ignorance. So not much was expected by Jadabharat from them. But here Rahugan is little elevated. He is in the mode of goodness. He is going to Kapil Ashram to hear from a sage, and on the way insulting other sage, thinking that he is some deaf dumb fellow. He is my praja. I can just misuse them anyhow. So that might have been the reason. Otherwise, personally, he will not like that. He has gone through what not. From emperor to deer's body. And he was lamenting. He gave up the pleasures of green grass in Karanjak forest, went all the way to Pula Ashram, kept hearing, ate only dry grass, dry leaves fallen from the tree. So he won't be, tattva wise, he won't be feeling that dissatisfaction. It is just rasa wise. That's what my understanding is. Just like tattva wise, Krishna cannot be affected. So many people are atheists and all that. Krishna is undisturbed. Dhiras tatra na muyati. Even person in knowledge, he is not bewildered by all these things. And that story of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, what do you call, tested by Bhrigu Maharshi, you know, Vishnu was hit on the chest directly in front of Lakshmi by the foot. So as far as I understand, this is rasa. Rasa is the matter here, not the tattva. ठीक है. At least here Chakravarti Pad has not, what has he written? This was 24th, no? Surprisingly, I think he has not touched only, no, that point? No. As far as I understand, this is rasa only. This is nothing to do with tattva. That's what I understand. Just like Lord's example, like Varadeva. There's no reason. Just Satchidananda, Ananda Ghana, condensed bliss, Lord. But rasa wise, he feels. Why is my child gone so far away? But still, in case you get some other acharya commenting some way about it, you let me know. Okay, now 14th. Though we are lagging a bit, but still I feel I need to go to washroom. Better I go once, I think. And I'll drink water also. Can we take some 3-4 minutes break? My God, itna bargaining. I can pull on, I think, but I still feel. Take a break? ठीक है.